My number one Kitbash of 2021 on social media was a simple combination of these two figures.
DorkLair!
Welcome to another DorkLair collecting video. Today I'm going to do a little Kitbash tutorial video putting together Mythic Legion's Krampus and Mythic Legion's Sir Owain to see what kind of a combination we can get. And I will tell you right now, putting these together is phenomenal. A lot of people really like this combination. So hang tight, I'm going to walk you through my thought process, then I'll talk about disassembly and reassembly, and then we will put it together and take a look at how these two figures look combined into one. So first of all is my thought process. So when I look at a figure, I tend to really focus on the colors. And of course, with Mythic Legions, you can pretty much combine any figure. As long as you're combining a 1.0 figure with another 1.0 figure, which these both are, you can make any combination you want. But when I put my figures together, I like to try to go with colors. And this one really came because of the colors on Sir Owain. When I first pre-ordered him, I didn't really know what I was getting into. I wasn't super familiar with the figure. And when I got it in hand, I was kind of surprised at how much of this flat black is throughout the figure. There's flat black on almost every piece of armor. And so that got me kind of thinking, I mean, of course, it's very prevalent on the shield, that I want to mix this up with another figure with a black color. So I originally ended up doing it with Torion, the Minotaur, and the one on my shelf is that combination. So I didn't feel like taking it apart. So I picked up another Sir Owain, and I have my Krampus here, which I bought a couple extras of for purposes of this nature, essentially. So here we have these two figures, and that was my inspiration. My inspiration was the black on this figure. Sometimes it might be the colors are like opposing colors. Sometimes they have a very similar color scheme. And in this case, I thought that bringing in a lot of black to mix in with that little bit of black would be a lot of fun. So let's take a look. Okay, so next up is we got to break out the Conair because we are going to disassemble these figures. I'll be using the Conair 1875. It's a pretty good one. The 1895 is actually a little bit of an upgrade, but I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just joking. Anyway, we do need to heat up our figures. You can generally like take some things apart without heat, but I tend to just heat everything up and then pull it apart, and then I tend to heat it up again when I put it back together. So I just like it. I just like how easy and smooth it makes it, and you know, it's less wear and tear on the hands. So here's a quick look at Krampus. We're going to use his body, and then here's a look at Owain, and we're going to use his armor parts. And I may leave one arm armored this time. First of all, there are some things that'll pop right off. The head with Krampus, you know, that piece just sits on there. Usually you can get the gauntlets off without much heat. I did modify my tail, so I don't really need to use heat on mine, but generally if you have a Krampus, you're going to want to heat that tail up. But you can see I modified my tail and just shaved it down, make it easier. When I heat up my figures, I usually just take the blow dryer, and I won't leave it on. I'll probably edit this a bit, but I usually just leave it on the joints I'm going to do. So I'll leave it on the arms here for, you know, 10-20 seconds. If you have a more powerful heat gun, you do not want to get this close, but this is a weak little hair dryer. It does not get terribly hot. Now that I have the arms heated up, they will pop right out of there. And so I'm going to disassemble both of these guys now that you get a sense of like how to do it. I'll do that kind of off camera, and then we'll come back with all the parts. One spot that can be a little stubborn is at the knee. And what I usually do is try to pull it forward from here to pull it off that way. And just to walk you through which pieces are removable without heat on the knight figure, the plume comes off, although I'm probably going to pop that right back on after. The neck will pop right out, and you can usually get that neck right out of that head there. This piece sits under the neck, so you have to get the head off first before you pull the collar off, and then these peg into the back. They usually come separate in the box, so you're probably already used to that by that point. And that's about everything that you're going to want to take off before applying heat. So now I'm going to just get their figure ready to apply heat, and now I'm just going to heat up the parts I want to remove. Now I have my big pile of parts, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to use. The main bits are going to be the Krampus body, so I'm going to pull the arms and the body and the legs, and I'm going to have those, and I'm going to pretty much get rid of all of the Krampus other stuff. So pretty much all that stuff's going to go. And now I've determined which parts from Krampus that I'm going to use, so I'm going to pull those corresponding parts out of the Owain pile. Get rid of the torso, getting rid of the left arm there, and I need to get rid of the legs. The rest of this down here is going to be what I use for the figure. What I usually do now is I will start heating the parts up again as I put it together. Starting with the legs, you're going to want to stick the loincloth in the front there, and then you want to put the skirt over the top, because you can't do those really after you put the torso on. So the next thing I want to do is I want to heat up that torso hole and pop it on here. And that pops right in there. And while that torso is still warm, I'm going to go with the arms. So let's put this right arm in, and we'll pop that left arm in and just double check we got the correct ones here. There's how it's looking so far. Let's get these legs on next. I want to heat these back up so that they pop right on. One quick visual when you're doing this particular night leg is the fin on the side. The larger fin is on the outside. So that means this is the right leg, and you can double check if you want to see it. It says R right there. And I usually get it upside down and I'll twist it on in the back of the leg to see that it's flush. The gauntlets are almost always easy to get on and off, and you rarely really need much heat for those. And here's how it's looking so far. And I think I'm just going to go with one shoulder pauldron. I'm just going to get the correct one here. Of course, we'll get the head. Put the plume on. For the shield, I always have the handle first and then get the shield on there after the fact and then pose them up. And here we have our Sir Owain and Krampus Kitbash. Here's how it looks from the back. And let me just do a quick reset and I will get some other figures next to this guy. There we have it. Finished product. The Owain Krampus. What should we call him? Krampain? I don't know. But let's take a look at him next to a couple other figures. And of course, I got to bring in some other Kitbash. Lazy Boy Customs on the left is a Shadow Elf Warrior mixed up with the Ravana figure. I think that's just an incredible look. That cape is actually from Harker Customs too. Just an awesome look. I'm very happy with how that one came out. And then on the right over here is Torgon Redfin's head and arms on his brother's body. That's a pretty good one. I actually like that one quite a bit. It's got a very dwarven feel to it. But yeah, so there's how Krampain looks next to a couple other figures. Let me know what your favorite Kitbash combination part swap Lazy Boy custom is down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and until next time, may the force be with you.